Maybe I feel like a villain. They say I'm all for one. For clip, but I don't need no medal. I father, so why she should muting these sons? I'm leaving states with a killing. New season, there's more to come. Take this is part for the pain that I'm bringing. A god of this new world, my time has begun. I'm gonna bring the lead on a death note. Sell games, so our body gonna explode. Kick him in the nuts, turn a tenfold set. Oh, now they're giving up. Crocodile, how I let go. You ever said so? Coming from the dead zone. Striking my opponents, take them down like Nintendo. Like a Richard Murray, not a snake, but I get close. Fuck a Tory and bring him my manifesto. Joker's a copy, I take you to church. Hat like I'm Griffith, I make him berserk. Freezer, I'm treating these vermin like dirt. Sakuna, you know I'm the king of the curse. Put in the work and move on.
Welcome to the Anime Madness Wormhole. I am your host, Hen Diddy, and I'm joined tonight with Tacco.
It's good.
I just got rid of that screen on accident. I got rid of the Discord screen. Oof.
Problem.
And now my computer's lagging. Yay! Holy shit, I closed Spotify and now it's going actually pretty... It sped up a little bit.
Spotify is it's a killer.
It's still going slow, like really fucking slow.
But it is still the best music service.
Alright. So, tonight's Wormhole, we're going to be recapping the spring season 2023. We're going to be talking about some of the highs, some of the lows, what we originally expected was going to be the best of the season, and what ended up being the best in our opinion and statistically. So, as we get started into this, Tacco, what did you think was going to be the best anime of spring 2023?
Demon Slayer.
You thought it was going to be Demon Slayer?
Thought it was gonna be Demon Slayer. Or Hell's Paradise, but I got to find out a bit more about Hell's Paradise.
I'm gonna say right now, I was highly expecting it to be Demon Slayer as well. Now, what did you believe was the best anime of spring 2023?
Probably have to say, since I didn't get to finish off Hell's Paradise, I'd probably say Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer?
Kind of. Yeah.
So, it's a toss-up for me. It's between... I still have one more episode of Oshinoko to watch. But it's between Oshinoko and Tengoku Daimaikyuu, or Heavenly Delusion. It's between those two. Those two, like... Oshinoko, the first episode, pulls you in with this huge supernatural take, and it's like, yo, what? But... I would have to say it's between those two for me. Now, statistically speaking, if I sort by score, based on ratings on Mal, the best anime of 2023 was Oshinoko with an 8.83 rating. Demon Slayer came in second with an 8.34, and then The Dangers in My Heart came in third with an 8.28. So,
okay.
You want to start with Oshinoko, talking about that?
You're gonna have to give me some background on it.
So, basically, it's about an idol called Ai Hoshino, and she's 15. And in the world of idols, they're not meant to have partners or get pregnant or have children. It's seen as a disgrace to the industry. I didn't care.
Okay.
I did not give a fuck.
Right.
She got pregnant at 15. She went to
no fucks given.
She went to a boonies doctor. And the doctor she went to turned out to be a huge fan of Ai, and we find out that he basically took on the fandomship of Ai because of a patient he was very close with who had cancer and died at a young age. And basically, without spoiling too much, a stalker fan finds out what hospital she's at, kills the doctor.
Oh, wow.
And that's only half of the first... That's not even half of the first episode.
One?
The first
That's
episode...
episode 1.
Episode 1 is 90 minutes long.
That's insane.
But the first episode covers everything in volume 1 of the manga. And it's beautiful. The art style is amazing. And I thought, oh, it's just another idol series. And then I saw that one of the creators of it, Akasaka, is also the creator of Kaguya-sama Love is War, like the Death Note romance.
Okay. That I've heard of.
Yeah, it's the same creator. So I was like, oh. So that piqued my interest, and then the first episode just blew me out of the park and just reeled me in. And I believe it definitely deserves the rating that it has.
It sounds intense.
It very much is. I can't really say much more than that without spoiling the first episode, because you need to see it for yourself to get the shock factor.
Mm-hmm.
But what else I can say is that cancer patient that passed away ends up getting reincarnated as Ai's daughter, Ruby. And the doctor gets reincarnated as the twin brother, Aquamarine. So the doctor and the cancer patient are now Ai's children. But that's all I'm going to say for it, because you just got to watch it yourself. It's worth it. The last dub episode comes out... When does that come out? August 2nd, so Wednesday. The last dub episode will release. Okay. Moving on to the next one, Demon Slayer.
So good.
I love what they did with this season. This season was the Swordsman Village arc was a little boring in the manga.
I feel like that's always a thing with Demon Slayer since the anime is just so vibrant.
The first season was boring. Was like slightly boring in the manga. The Mugen Train arc was good in the manga. The Entertainment District arc was good in the manga. The anime just made it better. But this one and the next arc, the Hashira training arc, were definitely the lowest points of the manga, in my opinion. And they blew it out of the water with this season. Everything looked outstanding. My favorite Hashira put her work in and stood out.
Mitsuri, right?
Yeah, Mitsuri.
I mean, that's why I always refrained from reading Demon Slayer, because the manga I kept hearing the manga is just bland.
The manga,
not in a bad way, but
it's
just because when you watch the anime, it's so vibrant. The animation, the water, everything else.
The story is still kind of meh. I enjoy watching Demon Slayer. I do enjoy. I mean, I collected the whole thing. I collect Demon Slayer merch still. I just got a new Nezuko Funko. But the story itself is meh. It's basic shonen.
With insane animation.
Exactly. It's not even like for Bleach. You can't call Bleach basic shonen. I mean, you could go as far as saying you can't even call Black Clover basic shonen. Naruto's basic shonen. Dragon Ball's basic shonen. Demon Slayer falls into that basic shonen area.
Yeah.
Notice how I didn't say a certain shonen.
One Piece.
Yeah, that's just in a tier of its own.
But if you look at the basic of it, it's a basic. It's a basic.
It's a visually pleasing basic to where Naruto, with the exception of the movie for Black Clover, they're more dull basics. There's not many visually pleasing moments. Like Naruto, you have the Obito Kakashi fight, you have the Momoshiki Sasuke Naruto fight, and then there's a couple other fights that are visually pleasing. But then you have other fights like the Pain Naruto fight. It was a very important fight. It had a lot of meaning. It wasn't as visually pleasing. The visuals of it was more on the meh side.
I feel like because Naruto, I mean, granted, you gotta look when the animation, what year it was and everything else, but...
Well, that fight was 20... The anime itself ended in 2016, so I would say roughly 2010 that fight happened.
Exactly, so you gotta look, I mean, I feel like
look what UFO Table did a year later with Fate.
I haven't watched Fate.
Yeah, once you watch Fate, you'll see a year later in 2011, 2012, UFO Table, the studio that does Demon Slayer, had Fate, and it looked 1,000 times more pleasing than Naruto at the time.
Well, think about it. Look what's exactly kind of just said it for me. That's the same studio that did Demon Slayer.
Yeah. Oh, here's the even better one. Studio Pierrot is who does Naruto. Studio Pierrot also does Bleach. Look at the 2010 fights in Bleach. Ukiura Ichigo, Grimmjow Ichigo, Aizen Ichigo. That's all between 2008 to 2012. Well, no, 2008 to like 2010, because 2011-12 had the Fullbring arc, which had Ginjo versus Ichigo. How visually pleasing those fights were, and it's the same studio.
I feel like Naruto is just more of like a meaningful fight. Like, it doesn't have to be like visually pleasing.
And I don't mind that. But when you have something like Bleach going on at the same time, where you have the Ukiura fight, Ukiura versus Ichigo was a visually pleasing fight, and it had meaning behind it.
Like, I think, like, you brought the Kakashi and Obito fight, which is just perfect.
That's still one of the best choreography fights there is. I mean, there are a lot more better ones coming out now. There was one in Hell's Paradise. There's a couple in this season of Demon Slayer. Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War has, in my opinion, better choreography than that and the Momoshiki fight.
I don't know about the Momoshiki fight. That was kind of insane.
It is, but like, if you see some, like, Yamamoto versus Yuhabaha.
That's fair. What was I gonna say? Yeah, Naruto. It's not as visually pleasing. I feel like it's more of a satisfactory kind of fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, when you look at Shikamaru and Hidan, like, that's not visual. That's more
that's
of
that's just Shikamaru laying down the word to Hidan. That wasn't a fight.
Okay, that's forever my favorite Shikamaru moment.
Oh yeah, hands down. Just him holding the lighter up to the ghost of Asuma. Oh, beautiful.
Like, that is like perfect. Like, that is visual. That is satisfactory. That is everything. It's flawless.
Yeah.
And then you'll get like a fight. Oh, how do I put it? Let's pick a bad one from Naruto. Then you have Sakura and Ino.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah.
And then you're like,
I totally forgot about that fight because I put that fight so far out of my head. Oh, here's one. Here's one though that looks better than Pain versus Naruto.
Naruto
and it's
Sasuke?
older. Yes. And it's older. Rock Lee versus Gaara.
Rock Lee and Gaara is iconic.
That is the best fight of OG Naruto. That's better than the Final Valley
Naruto
fight.
and Sasuke.
That's better. That's
Rock
better
Lee
than
and
Final
Gaara
Valley Part
insane.
1. That's better than the first fight of Final Valley.
Okay.
The second one.
But do we think that?
The second one, I feel, was a little overcomplicated.
I don't think so. I think it was resolving the story between the two.
It was.
I feel like it was.
But there was so many elements in it. It was visually pleasing. Don't get me wrong.
Well needed though.
It was visually pleasing, but there were so many elements in it.
I feel like they could have cut some parts, but most of it was kind of needed. Which is completely understandable.
Did Sasuke really need all the Tailed Beast powers to do Indra's arrow? Because we see him do it later in life without the Tailed Beast.
Okay, let's be real. That with it was pretty kind of cool. Let's be real.
The whole holding the Tailed Beast hostage thing was kind of like unnecessary. Sasuke,
I feel like it kind of was
because
Naruto's thing was the Tailed Beast at that point with the whole Jinchuriki throughout Shippuden.
It was, but you figure Sasuke always saw himself as an equal to Naruto, even with Naruto having the Tailed Beast. So why would he need all that extra power if he sought himself that high?
Well, remember, during the war arc, when I forget who exactly. I think it's Kaguya.
Yeah.
I think it's Kaguya. Sasuke kind of realized Naruto's ahead of him.
Well, they both had Sage of Six. They both had power from the Sage of Six Pass as well.
But even though,
because you saw they were
adding.
I mean,
it's almost equal.
I mean, they were on pretty much an equal footing, and Sasuke was like, there was the rumor that Naruto held back, but yeah. I don't think Naruto held back. Naruto pulled out all of his techniques.
Oh yeah, but like
he even used all the releases Rasengans. He had a magnetic Rasengan, he had a magma Rasengan, he had all the different Rasengan releases that he threw at freaking Sasuke. If that's Naruto holding back, that's iffy for Naruto at that stage. I don't think Naruto was holding back at all.
I think he was.
He just didn't have the intent to kill. To where Sasuke
I think that's what held him back, because Sasuke was trying to kill him. I think that's the big thing, like the big difference between the two.
Possibly.
Like Sasuke was trying to kill him.
Yeah. Back on topic though. Demon Slayer was definitely great. Next up is
it was great.
The Dangers in My Heart. Now this is a rom-com. It's about
out of my alley.
It's set in middle school, and it's about a kid who a boy who's in love with horror stuff, and this one
a little better.
super popular girl he despises because of the way she is. She's super popular, this and that. She intrudes on his library time because he always went to the library by himself on lunch to read his stories and to get away from people. And she started going there to eat snacks because in this middle school, you're not allowed to snack throughout the day. And that's how a lot of Japanese schools are. You're only allowed to eat during the designated eating times. Well, he, over the first couple episodes, wants to kill her.
Okay.
And then it slowly turns into a romance between the two because she notices him. Technically, she didn't notice him at first. She forgot her box cutter at home, which why middle schoolers need box cutters in their pencil cases, I have no clue.
That is kind of disturbing.
But she was doing like this one group project thing, and she needed a box cutter to cut the part of cardboard. Well, we get this like ominous scene of him opening the box cutter, and then the next thing we know, he's setting it down, blushing like crazy, saying, "You can use mine if you want." it turns into like one of those like tsundere type romances where it's like, all right, just spit it out already, but it makes sense for his character.
How did I feel about that? I think I've been like that for Asta and Noel for the longest time. No, please just get this over with.
But it makes sense with the way his character is because he's this emo dreary kid. So it makes more sense, and it's not as cringy, like, just get it over with.
Right, that makes sense.
It's more of a wholesome thing. So I watched it. I found it... I was shocked by it. I saw it on a High Dive trailer on YouTube. And I was like, this looks weird, but... I've watched weirder. But it was definitely worth the watch.
I meant to ask before we got off Demon Slayer. When you said Demon Slayer, kind of reminded me.
Mm-hmm.
What was your reaction to Nezuko?
Oh, I already knew it was coming, but I still cried. I straight up cried. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. I straight up cried, even though I knew it was coming.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't read any of the manga or anything like that. I didn't know what was coming. I found out literally off of a spoiler off Twitter.
Oh, that sucks.
And I was like, fuck, really? So then I literally, because I've started the show in dub. I mean, once I start a show in a certain language, I'm sticking with it. So I was just waiting for it, and then I saw it. I was like, well, shit, and I'm gonna have to go watch it in sub. And I was like, damn, they did that so perfect.
It was extended compared to the manga. The manga, it was like 3 panels.
I was like, people who love Nezuko and Tanjiro, this is gonna be like, bang.
Yeah, it was, it hurt. Especially because they drew it out. They made the scream.
It was like
the screams.
Like you can just feel it. You're like you watch season 1, you see what happens to his family and Nezuko. He thought it was never gonna happen, and then
we disconnected.
Now she talks, and sun doesn't hurt her, and it's like, oh, this is great.
We disconnected. Hi YouTube.
I was like, perfect.
Hello, YouTube. Okay, we're back.
Hello, YouTube.
We should be back. Okay, yeah, we're back. Yeah, the scream, it reminds me of like the Asuma scream from Shikamaru, the Tsunade scream after Jiraiya. Like, oh, that it hurt. The I want to live scream from Robin.
I think of the Asuma every time. It's just like, it hurts. It hurt.
So, are you gonna watch The Dangers in My Heart?
Maybe.
It's on High Dive. Same with Oshinoko. I highly suggest Oshinoko, even if you're not a fan of like drama or idol culture. It is worth the watch because it goes in. One thing I can't say, it goes into two different plots. You have Ruby's plot to try to become an idol like her mother, and you have Aqua's plot to try to find their father and get revenge.
Okay.
And you'll understand what I mean by revenge at the end of episode 1.
Okay.
Moving on, we have the 4th place of this season, Tengoku Daimakyo, or Heavenly Delusion, which is an adventure mystery sci-fi, and it's basically about a post-apocalyptic world, and they're trying to find their way to a place called Heaven. Now, it reminded me of the Maze Runner, the Scorch Trials, the second movie, as well as the first movie combined. We have 2 different plots in this one as well. It's 2 seasons so far that had 2 different plot lines. Oshinoko and Heavenly Delusion. But with Heavenly Delusion, you have Kikuru and Maru, who are trying to... Kikuru is a bodyguard, and Maru is trying to find Heaven, so we're following them on their journey to find Heaven. But Kikuru is also trying to find an old friend of hers, and also a doctor, for some reason. We still don't know what's up with the doctor. And then we get this other plot of these children in this facility that has no threat or fear of the monsters that are in the outside world, and that's where the first Maze Runner movie comes into play. Like the
so this is like with Maze Runner.
So the Kikuru and Maru's story is like the Scorch Trials, where they're outside of the facility.
Okay, because I've never watched Maze Runner. Okay.
Okay.
I know the movies are a thing. That's why I was like, you said Maze Runner. I was like, oh, so it's linked with the movie. Okay.
The first thing I thought of when watching this was like, oh, this is like Maze Runner-esque.
I'm about to say, so I'm like, they're linked to the movie. Okay, that's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah. The synopsis because it's so hard to give a synopsis on this because there's a lot of revolving parts, but it was done so well.
Right.
So
that's all that matters then.
The synopsis on this is 15 years ago, disaster struck human civilization, and now dangerous man-eating monsters roam the ravaged lands, posing an existential threat to the remaining survivors. Amid this turmoil, an isolated facility shelters children and nurtures them in peace. However, a few among them find out about the world beyond the narrow periphery of their nursery's walls. Their curiosity about it slowly grows. Meanwhile, outside the world, young survivors Maru and Kikuru band together to search for a special place called Heaven, each for their own reasons, carrying past burdens and tragic secrets. The two hope to find answers to the cruelty that they have experienced in their lives and in the world, which still remains in tatters. So I think I did a pretty good job explaining that one.
It's funny. Is it? It's bad. When you said the walls, my first thought was praise the walls. All hail the walls.
You know what? Another thing that the facility reminded me of was Attack on Titan.
As soon as you said the wall, as soon as you said like walls, I was like, praise the walls.
But like the first season where they don't know what's actually beyond out there, other than just Titans. I don't know why that didn't click till just now.
So you just mentioned walls. I was like, oh, I'm gonna mention Attack on Titan because I gotta throw it in there every once.
It's like One Piece. It
I
has
walls.
to make an appearance.
Yeah, I heard walls. Like, oh, time they say praise the walls.
Next in 5th place was Hell's Paradise.
So good.
The final one of the Dark Trio getting its premiere.
I think it's still. I still keep hearing the manga's the best out of the 3.
I still haven't started the manga, but I did catch up in JJK's manga, and it's gonna have to do some wild shit to top JJK's manga because I'm pretty much caught up with Chainsaw Man's manga, and I can say with confidence that Hell's Paradise manga is probably better than Chainsaw's, but it's highly doubtful for Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I keep hearing JJK is like second manga wise in Hell's Paradise. So I guess Hell's Paradise is done. I think going off what I've heard. I don't know how much.
I can see real quick. What I do know about what was adapted from the manga is it's a lot darker in the manga than Mappa did.
That's what I heard too.
It's not like how
I also heard that too.
People are saying that Hell's Paradise got caught. Yeah, it's completed 13 volumes.
Okay, yeah, I was told. I kept seeing stuff saying like Hell's Paradise is the best out of the 3, which shocked me because granted,
now that this is completed, I need to start buying these volumes.
Yeah, I was like, well, I haven't read JJK, but when I watch JJK, it's my favorite out of the 3 so far.
So,
but I heard the manga's insane for Hell's Paradise.
What some people are saying is Hell's Paradise fell into the Mappa effect, and it got a critically low budget because of JJK season 2. And the same thing with Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man got a low budget because of Vinland Saga season 2. And people are calling it the Mappa effect.
That sucks.
But I didn't really see that, like, yeah, it was paced kind of quick. They did kind of quickly pace it. From what I've heard from manga readers, it was more quickly paced than the manga. But I still feel like some of those hard-hitting moments hit. Like, what's the dude's name? The blonde Ashaimon. That was with the little girl. Was it Tenza? Tenza's death fucking hurts. You do? Are you still there? Tacco? Tacco?
Mic mishap.
Okay, I was wondering, like, are you there? I was waiting for a response. But Tenza's death, when he sacrificed himself.
Insane.
It still hurt. Like, it hit emotionally.
Oh yeah.
So
for sure.
But all in all, I enjoyed it. I need to start buying the volumes. You know, pretty sure
all I heard was
I can read it on Viz.
It's the best. I was like, oh, fair enough.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. I'm fully caught up with JJK now, so. And there's a lot, like, I told you a couple things that happened, and there's a lot, like, there's crazier stuff that I didn't even tell you about.
I know the last update I got, besides what you shared with me, was Gojo and Sukuna were fighting.
Yeah, that fight's still going on.
That's the last thing I knew. I was like, oh, okay. And then you shared with me what we talked about yesterday.
How many times do you think a person can open up their domain expansion in one fight?
I don't know. That's actually a very good question.
Because
go...
after you open a domain expansion, once it dispels, you're heavily drained of cursed energy.
Okay, I'm gonna go off of. I'm gonna say not a high number, but I'm gonna go like 5.
5. So the typical is
5.
1.
Okay.
Gojo and Sukuna.
We have 2 people who aren't typical.
Gojo and Sukuna so far, and like I said, the fight is still going. Gojo has opened his domain 7 times, as well as doing 6 simple domains. 6 simple domains. Sukuna has only opened his 4 times.
Okay, see, Gojo's nuts.
And you can adjust the rules of your domain, but it takes time. Like, it takes like years of mastery to adjust the rules of your domain. Gojo has changed the rules of his domain every time he opened it.
See, and this is why I love Gojo.
Gojo
is the man's nuts.
He's still nowhere near my favorite character from JJK, but I will admit he is stupidly overpowered.
I love Gojo.
Like, I don't know if I told you, I moved JJK up from 13th to 10th on my top 16.
Oh, there you go.
Like,
I mean, it's so good.
I'll show it on the stream without giving away what things we have planned for season 2, as that's crap.
Okay.
That was up there for a little while that I wanted it to be. Top 16. So my new top 16, I have my favorite characters listed on it too now. It starts off with One Piece. After the last chapter, One Piece took the crown.
Oh, about time. I was wondering what was going to happen.
Zoro is my favorite character.
That's not very surprising. I know that.
Number 2
You should not like Tony. God Usopp.
Hey, I don't mind that pick at all. God Usopp matches him. God Usopp matches him. Number 2 is Berserk. And mine's heavily based on manga and anime.
Interesting.
So I take both medias into account. And Guts being my favorite character in that. Bleach dropped to number 3.
That's surprising.
With Shunsi Kiriko as my favorite character. Four is still Komi Can't Communicate. So from outside of my top 3, from 5 onward, everything got flipped up upside down basically. Nothing is in the same spot from 5 to 16 that it was last time.
Oh, okay.
So 4 is Komi Can't Communicate, with Nakana being my favorite character. 5 is now Vinland Saga.
Really?
Well, I'm caught up on the manga.
I'm not putting...
And Thornfin's my favorite in that. 6 is Fire Force, with the last volume coming out next month. It could pass Vinland Saga up. But Maki Oze is my favorite in Fire Force. Neon Genesis Evangelion fell to 7. With Misato being my favorite. Code Geass is in 8th. With Lelouch being my favorite. Haikyuu is now in 9th. With Asuma being my favorite. Or Asumi. Not Asuma. Asuma's Naruto. God damn it, Tacco. You got it. Naruto in my head.
About that.
Number 10 is Jujutsu Kaisen, with Maki Zenin being my favorite character. And Full Metal is out of the top 10. Full Metal is in 11th place now, with Winry being my favorite. Steins Gate got a boost, though. Steins Gate is now in 12th, with Rentaro Okabe being my favorite. Now, my number 13, because there's so many like short stories, I just picked a story for my favorite instead of a character. And that's the Junji Ito verse. So all stuff Junji Ito, like Uzumaki, Tomoe, Soichi, all that stuff. With Uzumaki being my favorite story from it. 14 is Claymore, with Claire being my favorite. 15 is My Dress Up Darling, with Marine Kitagawa being my favorite. And 16 is Akudama Drive, with Courier being my favorite. And of course, I have manga and anime honorable mentions. So I have like Solo Leveling, Kaiju number 8, The World After the Fall, Boys Abyss, Angels of Death, Birdie Wing Golf Girl Story, Bocchi to Rock, and Heavenly Delusion as my honorable mentions. So Hell's Paradise is going to have to do a lot with their manga. I'm going to have to be extremely blown out of the water with their manga for it to come close.
Like I said, I'm just going off what I heard. I heard it is the best out of the... Whether that is true or not, granted, because it's all opinion-based.
Yeah.
It ceased to be true.
Alright. Moving on to the next one, and I believe... No, we still got 3 more that are in the 8s. Dr. Stone, New World, Part 1. Did you watch the new Dr. Stone season?
I have not.
Okay. So the gist of this Dr. Stone season is, because the last thing we heard before this season was about they revived Ryusui to help them build the boat. The boat gets finished and they travel away from the village on the boat and end up in a new area to try to secure platinum from the downed Sozu space capsule that Senku's dad and the other astronauts were in when the green light took place.
Okay.
Now, I've read the manga entirely. I finished the manga, and I also read the Byakuya reboot side story, which is canon because they tell you to like it's informed to read it after you reach chapter 115.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how they're gonna go about adaptating it if they're going to, but it would be perfect to start part 2 with that and then get back into present day stuff.
Okay.
But all in all, it was a pretty faithful adaptation. I love the goofiness of the voice actors and what the animators do over at TMS. The way they take the goofy scenes that Bocchi draws and make them even goofier somehow. I love it. We didn't get Mecha Senku this season though. No Mecha Senku. But all in all, it was a pretty faithful adaptation, and it did good. It was definitely an enjoyable watch. That's about all I can say.
I mean, what I've watched of Dr. Stone, it's really good. I didn't think I was gonna like it at first, but it grew on me really quick.
Before I started it, I heard if you're not a big science buff, you're probably not gonna like it.
I heard the same thing.
So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna love this thing because I love science." And then when you hear Senku's like original goal before the event happens, how he wants to go to the moon, I was like, astronomy? I love this.
Right.
And yeah, it basically, I love science. I especially love astronomy and stuff dealing with the cosmos. One of my favorite people to watch on it is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, right there.
So it definitely intrigued me like right away, so I got into it. I did not expect the story to take the turn it did, but it was still enjoyable, and I think I gave the manga an 8 or a 9 rating. Not many mangas get a 10 from me. Animes will get a 10 because of there's more elements to like ranking it. Like you have the voice acting, the animation, then you have like the story and all that stuff, the original art. Manga, there's not as much to go off of. You have the art, you have the story, and you have the characters. Ooh, but next up is one that you will probably never watch. It's just a drama. Skip and Loafer.
A bit of those.
It's done by Studio PA Works, and
okay.
I'll just read the synopsis because this is another one where it's like, I mean, I took in the story, but it's one of those like back burner ones where it's like, okay, I took in the story, but the story goes on the back burner.
Right.
I gave it an 8.
Makes sense.
I gave it an 8 because it was still enjoyable. Like,
okay.
I did enjoy it. What's one for this season that's like that for me?
Fair.
The dreaming guy becomes a realist. However that one is. I just have realist written down on my thing. But there's that one. There's Temple.
Oh, okay.
Temple is another one that's like a back burner one.
So I don't think I've ran into too many that are like back burner to me.
One that I thought was going to be a back burner one was My Happy Marriage. I thought
Never heard of it.
It's only on Netflix. It's a romance about like post World War. I think it's post World War II era.
That's why I haven't heard about it.
I bought the first volume, and I actually just bought the second and third volume because, like I said, I thought it was going to be a back burner, but then it became amazing, and we can talk about that more next week when we go over to spring seasonal, because it is a spring one. We're not spring, it's summer. But skip to Loafer. In order to pursue her dream of bringing positive changes to Japan, Mitsumi Iwakura leaves her countryside town to attend a prestigious high school in the hustle and bustle of Tokyo. As she has already mapped a clear life plan, she has absolute confidence that there will be zero mishaps from then onwards. Despite her ambitious promise, the country girl ends up running late on the first day when she gets lost on her way to school. Fortunately, she meets a fellow first-year student, Sosuke Shima, who is in the same situation and offers to go with her. They eventually make it to school, but the misfortunes do not end there. As Mitsumi leaves an unfavorable first impression in front of her classmates, nevertheless, the class soon takes notice of her friendship with Sosuke despite their opposing personalities. Only time will tell whether Mitsumi will be able to forge fruitful relationship with her classmates, and she will certainly not be alone. Like it's like a basic type rom-com school. It's a seinen though. What the hell? It's a seinen? Huh?
What?
It's in the same demographic as Berserk.
Interesting.
I thought this was a shoujo. What the hell? Well, that just piqued my interest in it again, so hopefully we don't have to wait too long for season 2. Because season 1, it was like all like basically cutesy stuff. Like they were doing a school festival, they were becoming friends with each other. You know, like a typical school festival type thing.
Then it all happens.
Yeah, this got me intrigued now. I'm definitely intrigued now. We'll just have to wait and see. Next up, Insomniacs After School. I have not watched this one yet, but I just read the first 18 chapters of it. Because being an Insomniac myself, I was like, oh, I'll watch this. Come to find out that they were in an old astronomy club, like an observatory with a telescope and everything at their school. That's where they would go to try to sleep during the day whenever they had free time. And basically they get caught by one of the teachers, and they're like, well, if you want to still come up here, restart the astronomy club. So I'm like, okay. I'm head over heels for this story now. And yeah, it's basically about two high school students, a guy and a girl, who can't fall asleep because of insomnia, but when they're with each other, they're able to fall asleep. They feel relaxed. And in one of the recent chapters I read, she admits to him that your heartbeat puts me at ease and helps me sleep.
pretty insane, though. I can't believe it's in the same graphic as Berserk.
We're on a completely different freaking thing now.
I'm still thinking about that, man.
Well,
I can't stop thinking about that.
If this makes you feel any better, Insomniacs After School is also seinen.
No, see, it still kind of counts.
Which is weird, because you would expect these two stories to be josei.
No.
Like, josei is the romance side of, like, the mature adult. Like, Nana is a josei. Yuri on Ice is a josei. A lot of BLGL are joseis. So, especially since the only tag on Insomniacs After School is romance, you'd figure that'd be a josei, not a seinen.
Yeah, that's completely unexpected.
Yeah. Mobile Suit Gundam's The Witch from Mercury Season 2 also aired. I have not watched a single lick of Gundam yet because it is such a complex timeline. It's more complex than Fate. But this one, Season 2 came in at an 8.01 rating, so it can't be that bad. Moving on to the next one, done by... Oh, no! I just realized what studio did the next one we're going to talk about.
That is?
Madhouse.
Ah, shit.
Which means we're probably not getting a Season 2. Which sucks, because this was so good. So, it's my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999. The basic rundown on this. After her boyfriend breaks up with her for another girl, college student Akane Kinoshita wrestles with a broken heart and the memories he left behind. Loading up Forest of Savior, the MMO they used to play together, she forms a plan to get back at her ex-boyfriend through an in-person event for the game. In the process, she runs into someone unexpected. Akito Yamada, a gaming legend who just happened to be her guildmate. Desperate for support, Akane ropes the antisocial Yamada into helping her with her scheme and lending her a shoulder to cry on. The differences between Akane and Yamada soon to become apparent as they spend time together, yet they cannot help but notice each other's inner qualities. As the two gain more experience with one another in and out of the game, their tentative acquaintance may level up in a way neither expects. So it's not high school students, it's actually college students.
Well, that's misleading.
Well, she's 21 and in college.
Fair enough.
He is 19 and a third year in high school.
I got nothing.
He's about to graduate high school and go to college. Like, he was, during the latter half of the season, he was actually prepping for entrance exams for college. But seeing the studio that did it just, it ruined me because I enjoyed it so much. And seeing that Madhouse did it, who Madhouse is known for not being able to do season 2 of anything. Everything they've done was either continuous or only one season. Oh boy. Let's see. We're gonna go down to Birdie Wing Golf Girls Story, Season 2. Now, this is pretty much... It's a sports one. It's all about golf. But it starts out in Season 1, it starts out with the underground golf, like gangster golf, like you lose, you could die. Bandai Namco actually produced this one. The video game studio. The second season takes place the first season takes place in Europe. Second season takes place in Japan, where the main character, Eve, joins the same high school as Aoi, the girl that she finds a huge rivalry with. And I think the series is over. Because we had, like, in the last episode, there was, like, 5 different time skips that led to being, like, 6.5 years after the main timeline that the story was taking place in.
Thing.
You got some delayed responses. Tacco. Tacco.
I'm doing a couple things at once.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm waiting to hear your response. I'm like, did I get disconnected again?
Didn't disconnect. Like I said, I'm just doing a couple things at once. You're good.
But if you liked the way Blue Lock was with the intensity of like
that was the main reason what
things,
drew me to watching Blue Lock was it wasn't like a typical sports anime.
Birdie Wing does the same thing.
Well, fair enough.
Like I'll show you a clip later of Eve doing a drive. When she does a drive, she's like screaming. It's crazy. Next up though is Mashal. I know you've watched this one. No comment on Mashal? Why do I feel so high as a lighter? Tacco.
Sorry.
I asked you like a minute ago. No comment on Mashal?
Oh, I never got to finish Mashal actually.
You haven't finished it?
No, I'm bad with finishing shows lately.
Where did you leave off on? Like what episode?
I can't remember. I might have to restart the whole series.
Oh Jesus! But you know the basics. You know the basics of the series. It's Asta, basically Asta in the world of Harry Potter.
Oh wait, here's what I remember: cream puffs.
I love that ending. That ending is like the highlight. Custard, sugar, chocolate.
Her memory is cream puffs.
Oh my god! But it took me. I heard from Tekking that it was hilarious, and it was one of the funniest things of the newer gen. I was like, come on, something that's called Magic and Muscles, funny? You gotta be pulling my leg here, Tekking. But he wasn't wrong. It was definitely the funniest show from spring. There was not a single show on this list that was funnier than Mashal. And I will stand on this grave till the day I die. Not even Konosuba, which was made to be funny, wasn't funnier than Mashal. I mean, the main character's name is Mash Bernadette.
I was shocked that the main character's name was Mashal.
No, not Mashal, just Mash.
Well, close enough.
Mash Bernadette. And his
it's a great name.
muscle magic.
Well, you know.
The dude's too powerful. The dude is like beyond humanly strong, so it makes it a little easier to pass his magic off as muscle enhancing magic, even though he don't have magic.
You know, he's kind of like Asta. It's okay.
But what I did notice it's in the very first episode, and I thought was a pretty cool twist on it. In Black Clover, if you don't have magic, it's not really a big deal. Yeah, you'll get ostracized by people, or especially if a noble finds you, a noble will humiliate the shit out of you for not having magic, like they tried to do to Asta in Black Clover.
Well, you know, but it's okay.
But in Mashal, if you don't have magic, you're set up for freaking execution.
Well, that part is a little different.
I was taken aback on that. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. If they find out who Mash is, they're gonna kill him?
Yeah, that was pretty wild to hear. I have bits and pieces starting to come back to me a little bit.
It totally took me by surprise. What Lemon, I think her name is. I think her name is literally just Lemon. The one that tries to stop Mashal in the maze for the entrance exam. What was her name? Yeah, Lemon. Lemon came off when she first showed up and she was like stopping Mash. I was like, oh, not one of these characters. Not another, what's her name from Shield Hero, bitch and whore. Not another one of those characters. And then she just
That escalated.
Well, you have to finish, like, it's probably halfway through the first season, I think, when that comes up. Yeah, I don't even remember what her actual name is. That's why I said, like, that's part of the, in Shield Hero, that name thing is part of the, it was worth the struggle to get through all the shit that she did to him. But I thought it was going to be another character like that, and then as soon as the entrance exam ends, she's like madly in love with Mashal, and now she's the main love interest. But Mashal is too much of a doofus to realize, and his mind is only on cream puffs. Mashal reminded me of Luffy. Idiot when it comes to girls.
Slightly.
Idiot when it comes to girls, and his mind is on a single thing of food. Like, Luffy's always thinking about meat. Mashal's always thinking about cream puffs.
That is true. Yeah, I did kind of get a Luffy kind of feel.
Yeah, it's literally like he's like a mixture of Luffy and Asta, and it's done beautifully.
Pretty well.
Next up, we have Konosuba, an explosion on this wonderful world. Have you watched any Konosuba?
I've not.
So
I'm pretty bad around anime this time around.
Konosuba, well, I mean like Konosuba in general, like the parent story. I take your silence as a no.
One more time.
So the parent story of Konosuba, the first 2 seasons in the movie, have you seen that?
No.
Okay. So a quick basis of Konosuba, it's an isekai, but it's an isekai that has a weak protagonist with his only ability being steal, and for some reason, 99% of the time, it only works on women's panties.
Jesus.
It is a isekai that is purely made for comedy. And this is a side story about one of the characters who's in the main character's party, her backstory, Megumin's backstory. So basically how she became a magician, how she acquired the explosion magic, and so on, and how she ended up getting to the main city and meeting with Kazuma, Aqua, and Darkness. Which also, Darkness would probably be your favorite character in Konosuba.
That's fair.
Next up, Eden Zero second season released. Now, I've only read the first 3 volumes of the manga. I haven't watched the first season yet. This was actually done by JC staff. Wow. Deadmau5 Death Play is another one that I've seen a lot about and heard it's good. It's another seinen. I do need to watch that because they actually do have season or part either season 2 or part 2 scheduled already. Otaku Elf. So this is another one that's kind of like The Devil's a Part-Timer. It's a reverse isekai.
Okay.
So there's this elf who got basically summoned to our world to be a shrine goddess. And this was like 400 years in the past. And we follow the current generation of the shrine. And it turns out that because of something that happened like 60 years ago in the story, the elf became a shut-in and then became an otaku, obsessed with anime figures, especially Gundam figures. And basically, it's about the new shrine priestess trying to get the elf out of her shut-in lifestyle and try to get her back out into the town to the people and see the people who worship her. It's just like a cutesy type anime, and it was pretty funny. Wasn't as funny as Mashal though. Next we have Kuma 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 Bear Punch, which is the second season of Kuma 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 Bear, which is one of the weirdest titles I've ever seen. It's literally bear, 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 bear. So it's basically, the concept of the story is basically this girl who lives on her own. I think she's in her mid-20s, I think. She plays VR. She's huge with stocks. Like, she's really good with stocks. And she basically made a fortune with stocks. And she plays this VR MMO religiously. I'm 100% it's in the same universe as Sword Art Online because it's a full dive tech, like the one from season 2 of Sword Art Online. But she basically, I can't remember what she does in the first season, but she's now like permanently in the game world and living life in the game world. And this is just, the second season is just following her on more of her adventures, her starting up her, like, getting her businesses going and whatnot in this world.
Okay.
And it's basically, the funniest part of this story is she wears this bear outfit, but the bear outfit has like OP freaking stats and abilities. And she's one of the strongest adventurers in that world. And people always ridicule her, call her like the pet and whatnot. And then she like shows them up and humbles the other person to the point where they're scared and run with their tail between their legs, basically. It's got some good fight scenes too.
Okay.
Next up is Ranking of Kings Season 2, The Treasure Chest of Courage. I still gave this an 8 because Bocchi is Bocchi. But this season was all over the place. It was going to stuff that was before Season 1 in the timeline, stuff during Season 1 in the timeline, and then we got like maybe 2 or 3 episodes of stuff that actually happened after the timeline. We get it was like 3 episodes for the backstory of the Underworld Kingdom, which would have made more sense to have that backstory in the first season when we actually went to the Underworld Kingdom. It was just all over the place and was hard to follow.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's not even the second season. So I never read the synopsis of it because I was like, oh, second season, Ranking of Kings, let's go. I love the first season. So here's the synopsis. A treasure chest of unspoken courage is open. The special is described as a collection of shorts showing past instances of courage and personal growth by the cast of Ranking of Kings. Huh.
Okay. It's interesting.
You could tell I go into these things blind without reading stuff a lot of the time.
It's okay. That's the most fun way to do it. Then you get surprised.
Like, I went into Oshinoko semi-blind. I did read the first volume before I watched it. So the only thing I kind of knew about it was an idol. It was about idols and stuff. Demon Slayer, of course, I knew all about it before I even started it. Otaku Elf, I went into blind. Mashal, I knew a little bit. Insomniacs After School, I went into blind. My Love Story with Yamada, I went into blind. Skip the Loafer, blind. Hell's Paradise, I knew. Dr. Stone, I knew. Heavenly Delusion, I went into blind. Dangers in My Heart, I went into blind. I like, unless it's something that I've like read or I've heard so much about on the internet, I tend to go into the series blind. Like, out of the stuff I'm watching this season, I would say probably 80% of the ones I'm watching, I'm going into blind, with the only information I have for the stories being the cover art for them on Mao when I put them into my Mao list to watch. Like, a Galaxy Next Door, I was like, oh, this is just going to be some weird romance. But it's about a girl from this special island who's known as the Star Princess, and they're technically a different race of people, and they have stingers, and it's about her love story with a normal human while trying to escape the tyranny of her mother, because her mother just wants to live a life of solitude on the island, but she wants to be a mangaka and create manga. And her grandmother's dying wish was, go, be free, do what you want. You don't get that from the cover art.
No.
Next one, though, My Home Hero. I couldn't even tell what the story was about. The only thing I could really tell from the cover art of this story was it was about Yakuza. And I wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the brief rundown I gave of it during the last episode of Madness, which, thank you, everybody. The last episode of the Madness has only been on YouTube for 3 days, and it's already surpassed and became our #1 with over 340 views.
Hey, it's because we're #1.
So thank you, everyone, for that. But 90% of our viewers are still not subscribed.
Go subscribe.
And if you don't want to watch it on YouTube afterwards, come see us live on Sundays at 8 p.m. E.S.T, where we do the brackets. Or if you're caught up in My Hero or One Piece, we do live reacts to the new chapters on Mondays and Wednesdays. This upcoming week, though, is going to be a little iffy due to a break week for both series.
That sucks.
Well, we know.
I have an idea.
We know Monday we're doing a discussion on Chapter 1088 because of the shit that was revealed.
Okay, that's fair.
Don't know what we're doing Wednesday for the original My Hero slot.
We could make who is it? Me, you, and Tony, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how much Tony I've seen of My Hero in reality. I know he's caught up, but he's really not in a way.
It's like with One Piece, he's caught up but not.
We can kind of do like a favorite moment kind of thing. Like, oh, like this part was cool.
We could, because the last chapter of My Hero, there's not really much we have to discuss.
No, not really.
Compared to One Piece, where we're getting like lore stuff every freaking chapter, even if it's the most minute of things.
Right.
But yeah, basically, Tetsuo, his daughter's dating a dude who's in the Yakuza that they don't know at first, but he stops over her place, hides in the closet, hears him on the phone saying he's going to kill her, so he kills him, and it's basically a struggle to try to keep it toward the Yakuza don't know that Tetsuo killed him.
Okay.
It was there was a lot of big cliffhanger moments, and it left you in like I was watching it weekly, and it was very suspenseful every week.
I got an update from Mr. Cope. I guess he's watching the stream.
Is he really?
Cope,
if you're watching the stream, say something in chat.
Listen, we're up to 377, no longer 340. Nearly 400 now.
Nearly 400. This is our top video. Yeah, Cope, say something in chat if you're here, dude.
Yeah, he shot me a text. If you can ramble for a second, I'll be right back.
What am I gonna ramble about?
I don't know. Gotta go to the bathroom, man. I'll be right back.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? We're just gonna go onto a break screen then. I'm just gonna mute my mic.
Perfect.
And when I hear you, I know you're back.
Perfect. Sounds good.
We'll return shortly, folks. Apologize for the silence. I closed out Spotify and I was trying to pull it back up. But I see Cope has finally entered the chat. I'm occupied at the moment. Of course you are. And oh, yay. It loaded. So we will see you shortly.
Together like show Tacco.
I've been trapped in this cycle. I've been losing my mind. I don't mean to be spiteful, but I'm one of a kind.
Keep it on his side when I'm scheming, yeah. Look him in the eyes when he's bleeding, yeah. I be in the skies when I'm bleeding. Armies and legions facing my demons, yeah. I could never die when I'm peaking, yeah. Let nobody die, he be screaming, yeah. I gotta decide my allegiance, broken and beaten, facing my demons, yeah. Keep it on the side when I'm scheming, yeah.
I've been trapped in this cycle.
Look him in the eyes when he's bleeding, yeah.
I've been losing my mind.
I could never die when I'm peaking, yeah.
I don't mean to be shy.
Let nobody die, he be screaming, yeah.
I'm one of a kind.
Make way when I step aside, flee. Your blue cannot exercise me. Stay true when you testify. We rolling through like an extra fine. Please weaponize me. Blaze like Makoto. I call it a rapper. I cover my scars. I'm burning all your fairy tales of the ground. So watch her. I'm literally raising the bar. Monster, Johan, Shinigami. I said death in the eyes. Requiem, Mozart. Don't in a shadow realm. You're gonna die. Cause I bring a major war. Make the hell sing like a major chord. I commit murder in third degree like a Kuzawa. That is what my major's for. When I rap, then no time stops. Throw a body like a mic drop. Murderer, I'm a 10, hearing 9 shots. How I shuffle August like the songs on my iPod. My God, on top, I'm an icon.
Then I said the cow goes moo.
Welcome back. And Cope said in chat, I'm eating, and let's just say 1,000-year blood war. Why'd you have to bring
Tell him
it up?
tacos are the... Hey. Tell him tacos are the most important meal of the day. Oh, wait, never mind. He can hear me. I'm fucking stupid. Anyway.
Shit.
I had a blonde moment, even though I'm not blonde.
Oh, boy. But we'll cover 1,000-year blood war next week, Cope.
You know what? I have well, since I'm like slightly time limited this evening.
Okay. We don't have
How
many
much more
to
we
go over.
got? Perfect. I have an idea.
We have 1, 2, 3,
Problem is,
4, 5.
I don't think Mr. Cope can sit in.
7. We have 7 left to go over.
I don't think Mr. Cope can sit in for the idea.
Oh boy, what's that?
Do you want help with the classified bracket?
Oh, Cope knows.
Oh, then get the fuck in here.
Cope knows. It's already built.
Oh, never mind then. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Anyway.
Like, we already had all the people
Sweet.
for it.
Sweet.
I just needed to make the PowerPoint. I built that last night. Me and Cope were on a call for like 4 hours last night.
Awesome. Okay.
Or you, well, Cope, we're not going to talk about it this week because that's a summer.
Oh, what, 1,000 Year?
1,000 Year Blood War is a summer show, so that's going to be next week during the summer season episode of the Wormhole. But next up was Too Cute Crisis. Now, from the name and the cover art of this, I was like, oh, so it's just a cute story about cats.
That is not the case.
But it has the tag
Is
sci-fi. So,
see? And everyone likes a good sci-fi.
So, it's an alien race of conquerors that are in search for the cutest thing in the galaxy. And they fall upon Earth, and their head researcher goes down and gets entranced by cats. And then it's just a story about how basically more and more of the aliens come down to see these creatures because they think it's a death-defying creature and all this. And they all just get entranced by all the different types of pets, cats, rabbits, dogs, everything. It's literally just meant to be a cute comedy with a sci-fi-esque feel to it.
Okay.
Go, that's next week's episode. You can wait a week, can't you? Or do you have a hockey game or something and won't be able to join the Wormhole next week? Next, we have Mix Mace, which we're not going to go too much into this because it's still continuing into this season. It's a 24-episode season. It's basically just a baseball anime. It's about high school baseball. That's about all it's about. Yuri is my job. So this one's kind of a weird one. It's basically this one girl whose main goal is to get everyone to like her. I don't care. I can talk Bleach every week. Give it one more episode, because next week's episode is probably going to be even more insane. Basically, yeah, she accidentally injures a manager of a cafe, so she has to work there. And basically, the cafe is a bunch of Yuri crap, and it's a girl's love. So
okay,
there you go.
See.
It's very hard to like put in the words.
It sounds like it has cooties, and I'm not a fan. No, I'm kidding.
It wasn't bad. There were some moments.
Cooties.
There were some moments where it's like I don't know if I can watch this, but it wasn't bad.
Fair
next
enough.
is Rokudo Bad Girls. So basically, main character gets this weird spell power that turns bad girls and like makes them completely infatuated with him.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
That's the gist of it. Here's one.
Okay.
Here's one. I don't know why it's rated so low. It was really freaking good. The way they handled CGI in it was amazing. I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too. So basically, this kid is fat and bullied, and he's even ostracized by his own family. He lives with his grandfather while his grandfather passes away, and he finds his grandfather, everything that his grandfather had, his grandfather left to Yuya. No one else in the family got anything for the way that they treated Yuya. So Yuya basically got humiliated and picked on more by his family because of this.
Were you gonna say ostracized and then you forgot how to say it and then changed words?
No, I was gonna say ostracized, but I realized I already said that. So having his family ostracize him more doesn't make sense. But he finds this secret room in the house that leads to another world. Well, he becomes slim, buff, and good-looking. But before he became slim, buff, and good-looking, he saved this one girl from... Basically, it was 3 guys were ganging up on her, trying to get her to go home with them. Well, he saved her. And she was able to recognize him instantly after his transformation. He didn't even realize his transformation at first. And invited him to come to a prestigious school. Well, his siblings got pissed off about that and tried to ruin him again. And they got... Oh, it got shot back into their face so good. But it's a weird... It's like he can isekai himself and then just come right back. And then he goes back and forth between both worlds. But it was pretty good.
Interesting. Okay. See... Okay, I'm not too familiar with isekais. Like, the one I know the most is Eminence, since it's the one I watched the most.
Mm-hmm.
And then
there are some good ones. Like ReZero's a good one. I Got a Cheat Skill is a good one. There are other good ones.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna mention it. Sage brought me up a good point. The Suicide Squad anime coming out.
Oh, yeah.
That's technically an isekai.
No, it's not technically. It is. It's literally called Suicide Squad Isekai.
So, that I'm going to watch.
Yeah,
that
I can't wait for
enjoy.
that. I can't wait for that.
Okay. Who do you want to voice Joker?
And dub or sub?
Dub.
No, I heard Sage say Sabbath. No, Sinclair.
He said Sinclair the same time you did. You know what? I don't want either of them. You know who I want who's not gonna be able to get? I want fucking Mark Hamill.
I feel like Sinclair would do really fucking good as the Joker.
Yeah, but
who would be Harley?
It's Mark Hamill.
Who would be Harley?
Harley Quinn is a tough one. No.
I feel Nami's voice actor.
I agree. Nami's voice actor.
Nami's voice actor.
Yeah, I don't know her name. I know her as Nami's voice actor.
Yeah.
She's also Ochako, so that's how I know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Wow. Well, speaking of isekais, the next one we're going to talk about is actually My One Hit Kill Sister. So, you know how in a lot of isekais the main character is like overpowered? Well, this one, the main character is weak as hell.
Sorry, State's bringing up people.
The main character is extremely weak, and it's his sister that's overpowered. So the main character gets thrown into a coma because, you know, Truck-kun. And he gets isekai to this world while in a coma. Well, his sister is an extremely overprotective sister and has a little brother complex, and possibly wants to do adult things with her little brother.
That is sus. We're cut. No more.
Very.
Cut. No more.
But I still find it funny. She purposely puts herself in a coma for the off chance of being put in the same world as him.
No! That's weird!
It worked!
That's weird!
But...
You can't tell me it's not weird.
It's definitely weird.
It's fucking weird.
But it was hilarious. Once again, not as funny as Mashal.
Weird.
Not as funny as Mashal. But it was hilarious. We got 3 left. So, next one we're going to go into is Opus Color.
Before we start with Opus Keller, I thought of a person who could play Harley Quinn.
Who?
I don't know her name, but the voice actor who does Toga.
I haven't heard Toga's dub in so long, so I'm going to have to re-listen to her dub before I can give you an answer on that.
Sage also said Caulifla from Dragon Ball Super, the same voice actor. The one who's Not the one like Broly, the one who can actually go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah. But whoever does Toga would fit so well.
I just thought of something hilarious. Can you imagine the Joker just pulling a yo?
Oh my god.
Ask Sage. Ask Sage if he could imagine the Joker pulling a Brook laugh.
I would die if I hear a Brook laugh in the middle of Suicide Squad.
There's definitely gonna if they get Sinclair to do Joker, there's definitely gonna be like blooper clips.
Actually, I lied. I know who I'd like to play Joker, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, it might. I would love to see Bryce Papenbrook.
Oh, that would be such a good Joker.
I would like to see Bryce Papenbrook. I think he would fit it pretty well.
You know who else would actually might work? Johnny Young Bosch.
Ooh, if they throw in Batman, he could be Batman.
Yeah. Ichigo's voice actor would work for a lot of different roles in DC. I'm just going to say one word and you'll understand what I just seen.
Okay.
Okay, what's the word?
I don't know.
Yep. I know exactly what part you're on, dude.
What part?
Oh,
I missed it.
It's Bleach. It's Thousand Year Blood War. I'm not telling you.
No, that's fine. Like I said, I haven't watched it.
Bro, you need to. It's so good. The animation
Eventually.
is insane.
Eventually. We'll get there.
Is insane.
We'll get there.
Opus Color is basically it's about a school. Pretty sure it's called sci-fi, but I'm pretty sure it's also boys' love. Because there's not a single female character in the entire show. Yeah. Basically it's about a kid who his parents passed away before revealing their magnum opus of art. It's an arts. It's basically they use these like VR, these AR type headsets to create art called perception art, where you can feel and interact with the art piece.
Okay.
And it got a lot of hate. I kind of enjoyed it. It got a lot of hate. It had a cool little side plot, and every episode title had a color graphic, like the letters and numbers that formulate a color. Every episode had a unique color, which I thought was pretty cool. One big issue with it, and it happened almost every week it was airing, is this was like the only show that had happened, and especially when episode 9 came out, I had to wait almost a full week to watch episode 9 because they did not have the subtitles for almost an entire week. It was just the raw Japanese, and it happened on several episodes for this. Now, I don't know if that's just a Crunchyroll thing or if that was C Stations. But now we're going to move into the two worst of the worst that came out this season. First is Alice Gear Ages Expansion. So, Alice Gear Ages Expansion is about humanity's civilization got forced off of planet Earth by an alien called the Vice. And they're at constant war with the Vice. They live on a different planet, or a ship, or a planet somewhere. And we're following, they call them actresses. Only females have the capability of piloting these. It's kind of like Infinite Stratos in that regard. And it's like, oh, cool, we're about to see some dope-ass space battles with, like, a Kill la Kill style uniforms. If you've seen Kill la Kill, you know what I mean.
I've seen bits and pieces of Kill la Kill.
Yeah, so you know, like, how the uniform is, like, how skimpy it is, like... Like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool ass space battles like that. But we don't get a single lick of plot in the entire season. There's no plot.
What's plot anyway? Plot's overrated.
Here's the thing. It's like they try to pull a Gintama. Gintama doesn't get into the plot till like 70 episodes in.
See, okay. So, I have a problem with shows like that.
Gintama did it right, though. Gintama was still good because it's
You know what I
hilarious.
mean? Like,
this just
I feel
sucked.
like I feel like that's a problem. Like, you don't see that? Like, how that's like, if you're like, I really can't like think of a show, but like, say you're like 100 episodes in,
Mm-hmm.
and you still have no main plot line, like that's a problem.
I do agree with that, but the way Gintama did it worked.
That's fair. Like, yeah, I mean, if they can do it and it works, that's great. Don't lose it, but like, it's so tough.
But
That's tough.
this one was just awful. But the worst of the season, but somehow it already got a second season already revealed, is Kizuna no Allie. It is an anime original, and it's basically coming off the hype of the like first AI VTuber It had decent animation, and then you get into like they're idols. It's another idol one. You get into like the concert scene, and it's like, okay, we're gonna see some VTuber concerts. I'm sending you a GIF right now on Discord. This is what the concerts look like. It was literally just shuffling back and forth with shitty animation. Like, it's worse than Berserk 2016 animation. And that's hard to do.
It's bad.
Not to mention that they sang the same song, like the intro song, they sang it like 5 times every episode. It was repetitive,
Only okay if it's good.
Extremely boring, and just cringe. Then in the final episode, which is why I gave it a 5, and I was gonna give it a 3. But the final episode was like, okay, that was actually a good episode. It had original lyrics from the main character that actually made sense and were actually good. The concert wasn't just a shuffle back and forth. It was actually a full-fledged like type of concert. And it actually set up the story to going into a better route. I'm not holding any high hopes for season 2, but hopefully it does better than what the first season did.
Fair enough.
So that's the spring recap. Once again, I believe Oshinoko and Heavily Delusion were the top animes of the spring season. I think you said Demon Slayer and Hell's Paradise.
Just because those are the two that I knew the most.
Yeah.
But Demon Slayer kind of showed out this year.
When it came to most visually pleasing, it was definitely between Oshinoko and Demon Slayer. Oshinoko,
Demon Slayer definitely showed out this year.
Studio Doga Kobo rivaled Ufotable in looks and animation.
That's impressive because they're insane.
So
That's insane. Just saying that's nuts.
And before we end, what continued into this season? Vinland Saga Season 2 continued into it.
See, I'm shocked My Hero didn't stretch into that, because I swear it did.
So My Hero ended so the dub of My Hero didn't end yet.
That's what it was,
yeah.
Okay.
Because Vinland Saga started after My Hero ended.
Okay.
And that's like with Oshinoko. The reason why I still have 1 episode left is because I fell in love with the dub voice actors, and the last episode comes out next week.
Okay.
But that's all for the Wormhole tonight. A little shorter of one. When we do the recap, it's going to be a shorter one. The summer analysis that we're going to be doing next week for the Wormhole probably be around the same time, maybe a little longer. But join us tomorrow for our classified bracket. It's going to be a good one. It's going to hurt because I'm going to have to do so much explaining for a lot of these characters.
You will, because I'm not good at it.
But join us for that. Then Monday we'll be doing a chapter 1088 One Piece chapter 1088 discussion about some of the stuff that was revealed.
Did we settle for favorite moments for My Hero?
Yeah, we can do that. So
Okay, cool.
Wednesday we'll be doing our favorite moments from the My Hero anime and manga. And then next Saturday we're going to be going over the spring seasonals that are coming out currently. Just basically what to expect and a I can't say the damn word. What screw the word. An early showing of what, like, basically we're gonna be about 4 or 5 episodes into these. So it's going to be basically what one we think at this point is going to be the best one of the year, best one of the season, what one we think is going to be the worst of the season, and all that. And that's about it. Any final words, Tacco?
I do not have any, but nothing but I need to catch up in anime because I'm very, very severely behind. Other than that, I got nothing.
Oh, we don't have Cush.
Oh, wait.
We don't have our slogan guy here.
Stay humble, get rumbled.
There you go. Get yourself some Rogue. Use the code TheMadness5 at checkout for 5% off.
I did start an anime.
Oh?
I started one because I finally found it.
What one?
In dub. Kuroko's basketball. I finally got this started.
Oh, I haven't started it yet.
Wait for that one.
I have to read it. I have to read it first.
Pretty good. I recommend.
Stop.
Subscribe to the YouTube. Anime Madness PC on YouTube. If you ever miss a stream, miss a video, if you ever miss a stream, you can catch it there on YouTube. Anime Madness PC. Follow my Twitter for any updates of when we're going live, if we're postponing, anything like that. At HenDiddy12 on Twitter. Killer Cope's in the chat. Go check him out on Twitch at KillerCope412. Follow his Twitter as well. He's going to be putting out some things as well. And I think that about does it. I don't have Killer Kush's Twitch memorized, but it's in the description of our last video. Cliffhanger. Yeah, Cope. Definitely a cliffhanger. That's why after next week's episode is the best time to talk about it. What are you hey-haying, Cope? Trying to end stream and you're hey-haying. Nothing? Oh well. Have a good night, everybody. We'll catch you here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, you're not going to say goodbye to the people, Tacco?
Why?